Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 2 with the New Nations mod as the Mali Empire. In the last episode we unfortunately lost the colonial race in our only colony to the UK here, so they took that, and they are also involved in another race against France here, which is not in danger of going to crisis right now because there is another active crisis, but it looks like it might end up going that way. We'll see. The current crisis is over Italy acquiring Venice from Austria-Hungary, which it looks like France is going for Russia there and the UK is still undecided, so we'll see how that turns out. In the meantime, I think we should probably focus on trying to develop our industry a bit more. I'd like to be able to encourage craftsmen. We want to leave the bureaucrat focus here since we are pretty close to being able to incorporate them as a state. Otherwise, I think I'll stop encouraging clergymen for a while. We're not at 4%, but we're looking pretty okay for that. And we'll move those focuses to craftsmen in our two most populous provinces. And start some more factories building there. So we actually don't have any factories in Bornu since they were only recently incorporated as a state. For Orgios there is cotton, fruit, and cows. So I suppose a canned food factory is possibly a good idea there. It at least has some of the inputs. A winery is also a possibility. Maybe we'll go to the fabric factory. Should be okay. Get the bonus from having cotton in the state. And Outer Houseland already has a factory at level 2. We could probably build a second factory. A glass factory would make sense to help out the existing liquor distillery. Okay, that'll do for the moment. Any factories in need of upgrades? This cement factory is full, so we'll upgrade that even though it's not actually profitable. Okay, more timber production. And we'll keep funding railroad projects as they appear. Okay, let's see. We'll keep getting input efficiency tech. I think that is the most helpful for getting our factories to the point of profitability. Okay, lots of unemployed craftsmen appearing in Bornu, since we are encouraging them. Looks like this crisis is going to go to war. So we are allied with the UK and they might call us in. If they do, I think we're going to have to refuse because we know that France has a lot of troops in this area of the world. There's 77 visible to us, but I think I saw at least 150 or maybe even 200 recently. They might not even call us in, it seems like they're not. We have Bornu nationalists again, okay. Alright, well if they don't call us in, then it saves us having to make any decisions on that. Which is fine by me. Even if we had an approximately equal number of troops than to the amount that I think France has around here, we are pretty far behind them in tech, so I really don't think we could have any hope of fighting them. Okay, and suddenly we are losing a lot of money. Probably mostly due to subsidies. Sure. Probably ultimately an effect of the UK and France being at war. Sure, they can hold their little rally again. And we are at 100% admin efficiency in East Hausaland, but we're going to keep encouraging there. Oh, until we have enough to make it a province. Which we do. Another astounding victory for Mali Empire today, as it has now become clear that East Hausaland will, as has been expected for some time, be taken up into the Malian patrimony with full rights of national statehood. Okay, I think that may become our second most populous province. Okay. So no need to encourage bureaucrats there anymore. And it's also pretty good for clergymen. I think we can immediately start encouraging craftsmen and get some factories built. Or at least one factory. Let's see what orgios we have there. We actually have coal, which is pretty nice. This is our only coal province. So, that being the case, we should probably build something that will take advantage of having coal there. We have a glass factory, I think, in another province. But a steel factory might be worth doing. Sure. We'll get that started. We've actually just gone up to 10th place, which is nice. And we'll allow Italy access. Okay, so this war actually has become the Second Great War. Essentially, France, Italy, and Russia versus Austria-Hungary and the UK. So Austria-Hungary is obviously going to get completely destroyed by having to deal with both Russia and Italy simultaneously, so it really comes down to France versus the UK, so we'll see if we can see how that's going. Looks like the UK has taken troops across the channel here, though they are not really having a good time. Oh, maybe they'll be okay. Sure, factory output efficiency is probably good. Oh, there is a big French army there, okay. Yeah, so they're not having that much success. They do have an army over here in Brittany, though. Actually, Austria-Hungary is making inroads into Russia. We'll see how successful they are with that. Once Russia has time to respond, though. And it seems like things are probably going in France's favor here in Africa. mostly. Though the UK is sieging them up down here a bit. There's been a revolution in Costa Rica. Okay. This could be an important battle. It looks like France is going to lose that one. Speech in Parliament. A Liberal member of the upper house has held a rousing speech in Parliament criticising the government for what he claims is its failure to amend the rising tide of social unrest in the country. How should the government respond? So we can have pops in the Mali Empire gain 1 consciousness or 1 militancy. We'll just let them gain consciousness, that's fine. Do we even have a parliament? I think we are still an absolute monarchy, so possibly we have some kind of token parliament. Alright, so this battle is actually going to be very close. Maybe more tax efficiency. Overall, it is going in France's favour, mostly from battles. Okay, and it seems like Russia has turned the tide in Austria-Hungary there, and they are probably going to get destroyed, as expected. Okay, extra factory output efficiency. Let's go ahead and do business regulations. The farming output will be helpful. I can actually lower my military stockpile spending a bit. We'll go down to 40%. I don't think it gets our income into the positives, but it will help out. I don't really want to stop subsidizing factories, unless I absolutely have to. And the Ottomans have declared war on Greece, presumably taking the opportunity when the UK is busy. Or are they actually in this war? No, okay. Are they still allied with the UK? They are, okay. And we can pass a reform, I guess. I think this is going to start us down the path of not being an absolute monarchy anymore if we start taking the voting reforms. I think that's okay, though. Get some elections going. Permanent prestige and faster organization. Regaining. Okay, limited constitutionalism. The political reforms enacted in the past few years have led to a situation where the absolutism of our monarchy can now legitimately be called into question. No longer is the king free to dictate the course of the nation to his own musings, but instead has to accept several constitutional hems and restrictions on his exercise of power. For these reasons, our government form is no longer most accurately described as an absolute monarchy. So our type of government changes to Prussian constitutionalism. And elections have started. The results will be in August 1897. Okay. Well, I think we probably want to encourage the same party that we have in power at the moment, the royal faction. We certainly don't want things to go in a liberal direction, or even radical, since we'd end up with laissez-faire. And I prefer not to be socialist or communist, because planned economy is really annoying. Which leaves us with the royal faction or the nationalist faction. So I think we'll start encouraging people along the lines of the royal faction once we start getting the election events. Okay, orderly election. I think there are a lot more of these election-related events in the New Nations mod than there are in vanilla, so we'll be able to see how that goes. The Malian election is underway and so far has proceeded smoothly. Debates are being carried out in the usual manner and there are no reports of violence in Barnaco or elsewhere. Supporters of the ruling regime have turned out in force, as have the hopefuls seeking to defeat the current government. So we get ongoing elections giving us additional consciousness, and people lose militancy. Alright. So pretty much all of Britain's land here is getting sieged by France. And they're taking back the British sieges here, or occupations rather. It's really only this one army that Britain seems to have down in Africa. Anyway, Chartist rallies again. We'll just continue to let them hold their little rallies. Okay, so I want to encourage protectionism. And everyone is in favor of free trade, so I think we'll just take the slightly lower amount of militancy. Royal faction wants residency, so we'll encourage residency. Spain declared war on Buganda. I assume that's somewhere in our area of the world. Yeah, down here. Okay. The political campaign of 1897, the Malian political parties have begun a nationwide election campaign. So far the effects have been quite limited, but in the end one party will gain the upper hand. Advisors state that we could try to influence the outcome ourselves. So we can have all pops become 5% more conservative at the cost of... actually, yeah, no cost. It's just basically free. Or we can gain one plurality to do nothing, I guess. Let's support the Conservative parties, since that's who we would like to see winning. Okay, our steel factory is almost done. Capitalists still just trying to build railroads. We want state capitalism here. And this is pretty even on battles, but thanks to mostly occupations, it seems like things are going pretty well in France and Russia's favor. Austria-Hungary having a bad time. Okay, pro-military is what we're looking for here, so basically as little pacifism as possible. Seems like it's pretty much a stalemate in the war, or in the battles between France and the UK here. The UK has ended up with some kind of an army on French soil, but it's not a particularly big one, so they're not going to get too much done there, I think. So we want moralism. National debate on trade policy. So this is basically like the smaller election events, but applies to the whole nation, I guess. And with the royal faction, we want to encourage protectionism. So we'll have all pops become 5% more in favor of protectionism. Okay. We'll pick decisive arguments for state capitalism. And we are losing money at a pretty ridiculous rate now. I think with our factories having just gotten built, we are spending a lot more in subsidies. I think we can reduce some education spending for a while. And admin should at least reduce our losses, even if we're not actually going to be making money. Well, maybe we will be, we'll see. And let's go ahead and get more tax efficiency. Okay, well that is going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and join me again next time.